Raquel Shea.
And I'm Jeff Sununian, welcoming you back to another episode of iBerkshire's TV. We'd like to say thank you to the sponsor of this week's show, BeFair, Berkshire Family and Individual Resources.
We sat down earlier with the team at BeFair to talk about the role they play here in Berkshire County.
But first, here are our top headlines as being reported by your local news source, iBerkshires.com.
The Adams Cheshire Regional School District has approved the contract of new Superintendent Aaron Dean. Dean was one of two candidates interviewed to replace the departed John Vosberg. Dean taught in the district for more than a decade before taking the principal position at Pittsfield's Crosby Elementary School. Interim Superintendent Al Scrocky will stay on through October to help with the transition.
The town of Adams will use more than half of its $800,000 Federal Community Development Block Grant, also known as CDBG, to renovate Russell Field. The playing field hosts several softball leagues and Adams Cheshire Youth Football. The renovation project received a kick forward on the town's priority list when coaches and parents complained about the poor condition of the field. Upgrades include better drainage and handicapped accessibility and regrading the uneven surface. Plans for adult fitness equipment are in the works, as well as general updates for the playground and tennis court, as well as a new pickleball court.
Lanesboro residents are urging the Board of Selectmen to rescind last year's decision to ban dogs from local parks. Residents who attended a recent meeting say it was an overreaction to isolated complaints about dog waste and dogs bothering small children. Animal Control Officer Jason Costa argues that excluding dogs from the three town parks is unfair to the town's dog owners. Selectman Hank Sayers suggested opening a new dog park, but Costa explained that creating and maintaining a proper dog park would be more costly than enforcing the existing leash laws. The board will revisit the topic at its next meeting on September 9th.
Pittsfield police responded to a shooting on Sunday morning. The incident is now being investigated as a homicide as the victim, Stephanie Oliveri, subsequently died of her wounds at Berkshire Medical Center. Oliveri was sitting in a vehicle at the intersection of Columbus Avenue and South John Street. State police detectives and Berkshire County Sheriff's Office are investigating.
We would like to once again thank our main sponsor for this week's show, BeFair. We're going to take a short break, and when we return, we'll hear from Kim McMahon at the Berkshire Food Project.
I'm Alex Kasternakis, board chair at BeFair. Join us Friday evening, October 25th, starting at 5:30 at Proprietors Lodge as we celebrate 25 years of BeFair's success at an exciting masquerade gala. There will be great food, company, music, and a live auction fundraiser. It's a business casual black and silver affair. Masks are optional and will be for sale at the event made by individuals supported by BeFair. You won't want to miss out on this great event. We'll see you there.
Greetings, Berkshire County, and thank you for tuning in today. I have an incredible special guest here. It's Kim McMahon, the Executive Director of the Berkshire Food Project. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for joining us. We first met at the Jack's Hot Dogs hot dog eating contest.
We did.
A couple of weeks ago. Your organization ended up walking away with about $2,200.
We did.
And I know a couple of people came up to me and said it was odd that it was a hot dog eating contest, which is a little bit ridiculous to raise money for a food bank. Mm-hmm. But tell us how the positives way outweighed the negatives.
Well, you know, Jack's Hot Dogs competition happens every year anyways. And Keith Bona thought, well, maybe we could sort of balance some of the gluttony and the excessive eating with doing something good for people who don't have enough food to eat. And at first I was like, oh, I don't know if I want to get involved with that. But then I thought, you know, let's raise awareness. Let's do what we can. And then when he got pledges for over $2,000, we thought, well, this wasn't a bad idea.
That was really an incredible idea. Everybody knows Keith Bona up there. He's a city councilman. And then Jeff Lavanos, the owner, was so overwhelmed, he donated $500 to the local veteran services. So for everyone, I think in total, the four guys ate about 55 hot dogs or something. I eat that in a weekend. So, but the Berkshire Food Project, how long have you been here? How did it get started?
Sure, we started over 30 years ago. In 1987, some Williams College students recognized what happened when Sprague closed and people lost their jobs, and they realized that there should be a place where people could come together, sort of retain their dignity, feel good about themselves, be fed, and maybe network with people. And so the Berkshire Food Project was born as a one-day-a-week soup and sandwich sort of thing. We've been in the same location since then, and we've been serving lunches now 5 days a week.
And it's funny you mentioned the networking. Having a place to go get a free meal is fantastic, but it's also connections you meet and the social part of it.
Right.
you probably don't have a typical customer. I think everybody pictures these things like we used to see the food lines in the 20s. It's not like that anymore.
No, our dining room is very diverse with people that are in our dining room for a lot of different reasons. We do have people who can't afford enough to eat. And that in itself, they're varied. Some people simply are working a couple of jobs that don't add up to a living wage. They're struggling to make ends meet. Some folks are unable to retain long-term employment. They have mental health issues, physical issues, disabilities that keep that from happening. We've got older people who retired with a good retirement income, but things have changed. And now their money doesn't pay for health care and food and housing. And so they've had to shift how they're thinking of retirement. But then we also have people who just want to know what's going on in the community. They want to, our elected officials come in and meet with us all the time because it's a great way to connect with people. But other people in the community, people who just moved here, they'll come in and they'll get to know what are some of the resources, what are some of the barriers, what's going on. And that's what we hope, is that people with different experiences sit down, they break bread together, and they start to understand each other's experiences, and by that, they understand the community better.
And on that topic, just from the varied amount of customers you have a lot of customers.
Yeah, we do.
I know when we spoke earlier, you do not rely on some big angel fund. You don't just have somebody drop tens of thousands of dollars in your lap.
No, we are almost entirely locally funded by families and family foundations.
That's incredible.
We have people who belong to our lunch club, and either once a week or once a month, they donate $3 through PayPal. Up to families who, when we said we're not meeting code in the kitchen and we have to do some major renovation, they said, how much do you need? And wrote a check, and everything in between. A lot of those $20 and $25 and $50 checks, they all add up when we have so much support from the community. And we're really, really lucky to be in the Berkshires where that happens.
That's really incredible. Mm-hmm. And with all the I won't even say social discourse, but discord going on, we still remain an incredibly generous nation when there's a hurricane hits, when a flood hits. But locally, right here, there is stuff that you can do that makes a difference like this.
Right.
So please keep it coming. They do an amazing job down there feeding everybody from all walks of society. That being said, you're not serving the same lunch every day.
Oh, no.
You have different vendors, you have different suppliers. Where does all this food come from?
So probably about 75% of our food comes to us by way of the Food Bank of Western Mass. I say by way of because not all of it has ever been to the food bank. We pick up at Walmart, at Big Y, at Cumberland Farms, various places in the community that are members of Feeding America, and that connects us to them through the Food Bank of Western Mass. We also, this time of year, particularly in the summer, so many farmers and so many families donate what they're growing to us. We also get 2 shares in Caretaker Farm, and we do buy some food wholesale. We do, there are things that just don't come your way, restaurant-size bottles of mayonnaise, restaurant-size salad dressing, that sort of thing. So we do purchase some food too, but an awful lot of it. And so our menu's never the same because we just go on what comes in, what gets donated. Our kitchen manager, Darlene, is amazingly flexible at working with whatever comes through the door.
I met Darlene as well a couple of weeks ago. So that's it's a lot of things. It's fresh food right from the farm.
Right.
And stuff from the Berkshire Food Bank comes in, as a lot of places around here probably utilize. So lastly and most important, number one, I want to hear if you're interested in volunteering, how to get in touch with you, or if you're interested in donating, what is the best way to go about it? I know you guys are always hanging around at the office down there in North Adams.
Yeah.
You could stop by at...
We're located inside the First Congregational Church at 134 Main Street. That address can be a little confusing to people because 134 Main Street is the address of the front door of the church. Our entrances are on the sides of the building. So what I always tell people is we're halfway between the library and the post office on Summer Street. That's the easiest way to find us. And look for our sign, Berkshire Food Project sign. And volunteers are how we get it all done. When you met Darlene and I, that was 75% of our staff. We have a part-time person also, and that's it. And we
amazing.
Are doing close to 200 meals many days lately in a 90-minute serving time. So we have about 1,000 hours of volunteers in our kitchen and dining room every month. And some people come 5 days a week, some come a couple days a week, some come once a week, and they come for different periods of time. Some people come and they show up at 10:30 and they leave at 12:30 and they do dishes, and that's all they do. Some people come and they'll help prep food in the kitchen for a couple of hours, but then they want to go sit in the dining room and talk to people and get to know people. And we consider that volunteering too, because that interaction and engagement is a really important part of what we do as well. Volunteers come to us with a lot of different issues and needs of their own. We have people who aren't able to have employment, but they want to have some kind of engagement in the community. A young woman who comes and fills our salt and pepper shakers, she has a physical disability. It takes her a long time to fill those salt and pepper shakers when she comes in. But we all know her, she's part of our team, she knows we need her, and that's important too. People get invited by the justice system to do some community service, and we welcome them and often give them a fresh start in a new area that they had never thought about before, and they leave thinking, well, maybe I'll go get a job in a kitchen now.
It's incredible. I mean, you've heard they're not going to turn you away, whether you're there to volunteer, whether you're there to donate,
Right.
whether you're there to eat, of course.
We're always welcoming everybody, and we respect everyone and let them retain their dignity. So everyone who walks through the door is treated the same. Doesn't matter if it's the mayor coming in for lunch or someone who just got out of a bad situation or just had a crisis. Everyone's treated the same.
Kim, I can't thank you enough for joining us here today. If anybody out there is interested in getting involved with the Berkshire Food Project, you can stop by 134 Main Street.
You can call us,
You can call us.
664-7378. And if you want to know what we're having for lunch, follow us on Facebook. We post our menu every day, and that's a great way to keep up with us as well.
Thank you so much, Kim.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks, everybody, for watching. It's the Berkshire Food Project. Please get involved. Come back and see us soon.
Thank you to Kim for stopping in.
Markel, you also had the pleasure of sitting down with the team at Be Fair to discuss all the great work they do in the community. Let's tune in to hear what they had to say.
Hello, everyone. I'm joined here by two very special people here from Be Fair, our sponsor of this episode. I'm joined by Rich and Michelle. Thank you both for being here. How are you?
Good, thank you.
Good.
Thanks for
great.
having us.
So they're going to tell us a little bit about Be Fair and how you help our community. And yeah, take it away.
Sure. Be Fair was founded in 1994. We were incorporated. 25th anniversary coming up.
Oh, fantastic.
We're a not-for-profit human service agency that provides services for people with developmental disabilities, autism, and acquired brain injury, as well as a home care program for older adults.
So do you have some specific examples of how you guys help these people in our community?
Sure. We have a great diversity of services. Going back to 2000 or 1994, we had 4 services, and they included residential employment, family supports, and a rehabilitation program. And now we have 15 different offerings. So a huge diversity of services. The people that we support with developmental disabilities is really a substantial portion of our services. We have 11 residences. 5 or 6 in Berkshire County, 5 in the Pioneer Valley, and we're developing a 6th one for people with acquired brain injury.
Wow.
We also have employment program, and as well as a rehabilitation program, a community-based day service, and family and individual supports. And one of the really interesting aspects of our services is an in-home clinical support program. We have licensed clinicians that provide services with applied behavior analysis. So really exciting.
Yeah, that's fantastic. I mean, you said it goes back to 1994, so your 25th anniversary.
Yes.
How will you be celebrating for that?
We'll be celebrating with a 25-year anniversary gala held at the Proprietors Lodge on October 25th. Masks are optional, as you can see. Some of these masks.
That's right, you did bring this in.
I'll let you model.
Yeah, no, it's cute. Did you make this yourself?
Some of our individuals did at our day programs, which is
It's
part of what we
fantastic.
provide for services. It's one of helps gross motor, fine motor skills, which is part of our day programs. So we're looking forward to seeing everybody there. There's opportunities to buy tickets or sponsorship opportunities on our
who
website.
hasn't always wanted to go to Masquerade, you know?
Can't be more fun than that.
Yeah, it's true. Awesome. So I have a couple notes written here. So you talked about employment opportunities. So for maybe some of our viewers or anybody who's interested in maybe joining the Human Services Department, what are some of the things that they could do to maybe join Be Fair?
Well, we definitely have a wide variety of employment opportunities from full-time, part-time, relief, which is per diem. So it kind of gives you the flexibility to design a schedule that works for you, be it a second job, be it returning college students, be it somebody who's looking for parent hours. We have openings throughout Berkshire County, from northern Berkshire all the way through southern Berkshire, as well as in our Pioneer Valley. As you heard Rich run down the services, we have opportunities in all those. So you could come in with very little experience, and we're willing to train you from the ground up.
that's
We're
awesome.
looking for somebody to come in, not just for a job, but for a career,
Yeah.
to really make BeFair their home, because they work so closely with our individuals, and they get so much support from our folks that work with them that, you know, we really like that constant.
I agree. I like that. So, as important as it is to have that kind of motivation to go and do something like this, what are some of the skills or qualifications that somebody may need to join your team?
Compassion, caring, understanding. We do ask that you do have a valid U.S. driver's license, so because we have transportation, a lot of our folks are heavily involved in our community activities, fully integrated within our community, from, you know, maybe they're going to church services or they're volunteering at, you know, Humane Society. They have work opportunities within the community, as well as our individuals heavily give back to our community. We do different events throughout the year, particularly in one of our day programs. They ask for donations. A lot of our staff donate goods around Easter time, and our individuals help prepare all the donated items into Easter baskets, and they make a donation up to Lewiston House. We do food drives for different food pantries. We have cooking clubs in some of our programs, and they do donate the food back out into the community. So there's a wide variety of different things that happen.
I mean, I'm listening to you list all these awesome opportunities and events. So would somebody maybe just as a volunteer maybe have an opportunity to help you with some of these things? Like you mentioned the Easter baskets.
I think one of the volunteer things that I'd really like to mention is our board of directors. Alice Kastronakis is our board chair, and we talk about a volunteer opportunity. It's
Yeah,
just
that
a
sounds
great way
great.
to support the agency and the things we do. They have tremendous different skills, a wide variety of skills, and the support for our mission, which includes inspiring abilities, creating limitless possibilities, is really something that we stand behind, with a great foundation of human rights, dignity, and respect
Yeah.
for the people that we support. So in addition to Michelle, she covered the waterfront with opportunities there. Serving on our board of directors is really something that is special to
Absolutely.
the agency.
I mean, with such a successful organization that you've had for 25 years, do you see any possible future plans in where BeFair is going for Berkshire County?
In Berkshire and the Pioneer Valley, which we have a acquired brain injury home under development now. In Southampton, we have a home in Westfield and Northampton.
Are those open right now?
Two are. I think 1996 was our first in the Pioneer Valley, that expansion. But one of the interesting things that we just recently did was purchase the Redemption Center in North Adams.
Absolutely.
So pretty interesting. We'd run that facility for a while, but we had the opportunity to actually purchase it recently, and the real motivation behind that is employment opportunities for people
great.
with developmental disabilities.
What are some of the things that you're planning on doing there at the Rehabilitation Center?
Well, that's one aspect. I'd love to mention a few other employers that we've worked with. Advanced Flexible Composites. The city of North Adams has been tremendous. We have an individual that we support who's been a 20-year employee of Big Y.
Wow.
Really, there's just, it runs the gamut. Our Employee of the Year this year was Steiner Film. Great opportunities for people with employment for people with developmental disabilities. And then going back 1 year, we had Hancock, or the Pittsfield Pet Resort, which they've been providing employment for the people that we support for probably a decade.
Awesome.
Yes, the community throughout Berkshire County has been a wonderful support network for BeFair and for our individuals.
Yeah, definitely. And for anybody who wants to get involved or go to the masquerade even, that's coming up, thank you guys so much for coming, and I definitely learned a lot, and I hope somebody else did out there as well, more about BeFair. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Pittsfield Zoning Board of Appeals continued a hearing for a proposed outdoor marijuana growing operation. Northeast Cultivation is looking for a special permit to grow the crop on Peck's Road. The Community Development Board has already blessed the project, but some neighbors have concerns about the crop's distinct odor during the growing season. The application meets all the city's requirements, but the board wants more information on potential solutions if the odor becomes a problem.
A Pittsfield man was sentenced on August 27th to 5 years in prison for drug and firearms charges. 41-year-old Devin Kelly was sentenced in connection with a shooting incident outside the now-closed Locks Lounge. Kelly shot at several people in the early morning hours on August 20th of 2018. After a short investigation by Pittsfield police, he was arrested 10 days later. Kelly, who pleaded guilty to the charges, will serve his time at Cedar Junction.
The third annual Nashville in the Berkshires event will be held Saturday, September 7th at Bowfield and Adams. The all-day music festival includes local as well as national country acts. In addition to all-day music, there will be food and merchant vendors, a car show, and kids' activities such as a farm animal petting zoo and pony rides. Gates open at 11 a.m. and tickets are $10 in advance or $15 at the door.
In Cheshire, Waste Hauler Republic Services changed its name as it becomes part of Vermont's Casella Waste Systems Incorporated. This includes the service contract for trash and recycling pickup in the city of Pittsfield. Casella's purchase of the contract maintains existing collection services for residents in Pittsfield and will not incur any changes.
Pittsfield police arrested a man early Tuesday, September 3rd, after a high-speed chase that ended when he crashed through a fence at St. Joseph's Church on North Street. Domingo Sobers was arrested around 3:30 Tuesday morning on charges including OUI, failure to stop at a red light, and negligent operation of a motor vehicle. Police were first alerted by ShotSpotter to the intersection of Daniel Street and Union Street and found evidence of a shooting. Police say they found a 9mm handgun in Sobers' vehicle.
The Mount Greylock Regional High School Council is considering stricter limits on student use of cell phones, similar to those recently implemented in Pittsfield. Concerned Greylock parent Nicole Anagnos argued that cell phone usage distracts students, contributes to anxiety, and becomes a substitute for real-life interpersonal communication. Council members were generally receptive to the proposal and plan to discuss it further. Do you think students should be prohibited from using phones in school? Let us know in the comments below.
If you happen to be near the Eclipse Dam on Beaver Street in North Adams, keep an eye out for a bald eagle. Photographer Rick Duto spotted a living embodiment of a country's national symbol near the dam. The birds have been making a comeback since being reintroduced to the area in the 80s. Anybody seeing a bald eagle is encouraged to contact Mass Wildlife.
A big thank you to our viewers for your support of iBerkshires TV, as well as to our guests from BeFair, as well as Berkshire Food Project.
BeFair also served as a sponsor of this week's show at iBerkshires TV. And before we go, we have some great cooking tips for you in Anna's kitchen.
Hi, I'm Anna. Welcome to my kitchen. Today I will show you that you don't have to cook corn to enjoy it. When you buy your corn, make sure that it's freshly picked, because the longer it sits, the more sugars turn into carbohydrates, and you want to avoid that. Take a good sharp knife and hold your corn standing up. I'm holding my knife a little bit under angle, and I slide, going kind of with a sewing motion along the stem, and the kernels are falling into the bowl. So you just go around until all of it is shaved off. All you need is a peach or nectarine, lime, and an herb like basil. I will take my peach and nectarine. You can use either, you can use both. I happen to have both. So you will cut it, and you see this nectarine is very beautiful. It looks like a beet inside. And then you want to dice it. Cut it perpendicular and then into a dice. And once it's diced, you are going to add it to your corn. It's nice to have a nice wide knife so that it can hold it. Then you will take some basil leaves, and you don't even have to cut them. You can just rip them. Basil is a very, very gentle herb, and it really doesn't like the knife that much. So once you have it in your bowl, all you need to do is an acid, and in this case, lime will be great because it goes so well with corn. And also, of course, salt. I use Diamond Kosher salt. Just drizzle a little bit of salt. You will grind some fresh pepper. There is nothing like freshly ground pepper. I strongly recommend it. You can use the zest of the lime, which gives you additional burst of flavor because all the aromas are in the zest. And then you will squeeze the juice. Okay. Drizzle a little bit of olive oil. Make sure that olive oil that you'll use for your salads is of best quality you can afford. And then with your hands, you just toss them together. You have a lovely salad. Feast for the eyes and for your mouth. Enjoy.
Please join us again on our next episode of iBerkshires TV for your local news, interviews, and more.